Hello, I'm your state representative, Janine Nodder, and you're watching Chattin' with Janine. Wow, last week went by in the blink of an eye, and the election is going to be here tomorrow. No, seems like it's going to be here tomorrow. But my guest this week for the third time returning to the set is Corky Messner, who's running against Jean Shaheen. Welcome, Corky.
Thank you, Janine. Thanks for having me again, and
anytime.
Looking forward to November 3rd and the next month, and all the hard work we're going to do.
It has been hard work. I've never had to work this hard for an election. I bet. Have you? Well, is this your first time running?
Oh yeah, first time.
Yep.
But I'm having fun, and that's the important part. I'm having a great time. Meeting people, getting to know people, and it's been a very uplifting and inspiring experience for me.
Well, plus, you have to go across the whole state, don't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
I've been everywhere.
So I'm just trying to get through all of Merrimack. I've been down streets I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Really enjoying seeing how people landscape their property.
Yeah, right.
Like getting ideas like, ooh, I like that and I like that.
Yeah, there you go. There's always something to see.
And the Halloween decorations will be up before you know it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I hope is there going to be Halloween?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, some are saying they'll leave the candy out.
Leave it out.
I don't know, and to my knowledge, if you leave them out, there's always going to be one kid that says, cool, opens the bag and takes it all.
Yeah, right. Then you got to worry of different kids reaching in and all that.
Yeah.
But I think there should be Halloween.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Halloween's fun. So last night was the first, was it a debate? And then they're calling it a debate. It was different.
It was very different night last night.
Well, there was no teleprompter, so when somebody has a teleprompter, they speak very well.
Right.
Not everyone speaks well off the cuff, but you got to remember, Moses couldn't speak either. He had a speech impediment. His brother Aaron had to do the talking for him, and he led the Israelites out of Egypt. Mm-hmm. He wasn't a good speaker.
Right.
So it's not so much how well a person speaks, it's what they do.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking at is what they do. What will they do for the country?
And results.
Mm-hmm.
And what
Exactly.
results they get. Yes, and that's the way politicians ought to be measured. Mm-hmm. Results. What they do. Right.
So how's your campaign going?
Good. It's going well. We're working hard. We came up just yesterday with a new ad on TV with Governor Sununu and I in the ad, and his support and endorsement of me, and so that was exciting, and we got some time before and after the debate, because the debate was no commercials, and so we did that, and I'm out hustling every day, having 3, 4, 5 events a day. And on the telephone in between.
So when you make calls, do people know who you are?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the interesting things about this is I lived a very private life in Wolfboro before I got into politics, and I liked the privacy, and so when I started this last summer, nobody knew me. Now I go somewhere in gas stations and grocery stores, people know who I am, which is kind of cool.
I was just at a red light, and the guy next to me was, "Hi, Janine, how are you?"
Yeah, there you go.
So that was cool. The Wright Museum is in Wolfboro.
The Wright Museum is awesome.
Yeah,
if you've never been there, go to the Wright Museum. It's one of the best World War II museums that I've been to, and I've been, all over the country, and I've lived in Europe when I was stationed there in the Army.
Right. Well, the first time you were on my show, we talked about Checkpoint Charlie.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But the Wright Museum is it's an amazing museum.
And they change it up sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember for a while there we had the Gold Star Mother statue? I was on the committee to bring that statue to New Hampshire.
Oh, great!
And before we had the home ready, the little park for it in Manchester, it went to the airport, the Manchester airport for a while, and it was at the Wright Museum.
Oh, nice, very nice.
So I love. Everybody knows I love history, and my youngest son, when he was growing up, every summer I would take my son and his friends all over God's creation, or as far as I could drive them. We went everywhere. We had our summer adventures, and I missed that. I remember the year I took them to the Wright Museum. His friend Peter Mulvey, if you're out there, that's your shout out. He just thanked me the rest of the day. Thank you so much for taking me here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
He really, really enjoyed that too.
Yeah, it's a great museum. In fact, the woman who I think is now the president I work with on the conservation stuff in the watershed conservation stuff in Wolfboro. So I know her pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a pack rat. Sometimes I wish I was, because my father was in World War II, and for years I had the little sewing kit, and I got rid of it one year. I'm like, but at the Wright Museum, I'm like, right. Idiot, I should have held on to it.
Yeah.
But when the threads started breaking, I went, this is no good anymore.
Right.
I was too young. I didn't appreciate it at the time, so wish I still had that piece.
Yeah, I get that. I have all my Army gear still, and all my West Point cadet uniforms too.
Oh, that's right. You went to West Point, and Rick Santorum's sons went to West Point as well.
Yeah.
I think.
And my sons go to West Point.
Do they know each other? Or I don't know. Time goes by so fast. His boys are probably done now.
Yeah. Max just graduated in June, so he's a second lieutenant in the Army now. He's down at Fort Benning, going through the infantry officer's basic course. And then he'll go to Ranger School in January.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then Thomas is a junior at West Point.
Well, I wish them all the best.
Yeah, they're in a bubble there.
In a bubble?
Yeah, I mean with the COVID stuff.
Oh.
They're not allowed to leave at all. Yeah.
Wow. How are they holding up?
All right. I mean, he's doing okay. They were at home for spring break when the academy, when West Point issued a stay-in-place order. So they were home from March until June, July timeframe doing remote learning, even to West Point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine that they pay attention, though, unlike I'm hearing about some college classes where there's always somebody cutting up in class.
Yeah,
Zoom.
I was impressed because once they got it all organized, it took them a week or so. And then the boys were in their rooms like all day. I said, "What are you guys doing in your rooms all day long?" And they said, "Dad,
going stir crazy.
We're in class."
Oh,
they were working them hard. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know at UNH the kids have to wear masks even outside on the sidewalk when they're by themselves.
Oh, wow.
That's extreme.
It is extreme.
So we had our last veto session at UNH, and for the 2 sessions before that, because I can't wear a mask. I can wear it for a few minutes at a time, but I don't have to tell people why, my medical exemption, so I'm not going to. But I sat in the medical section where I didn't have to wear a mask, which is right behind my caucus. So It was a perfect spot. I'm a floor leader. I can do my job from where I was sitting.
Right.
Well, the last session, they moved that section over to behind the Democrats. How can I can't do my job behind the Democrats. They had moved the Freedom section, those are the ones that refused to wear a mask, over to where I was sitting. So they were sitting up above me, and I was sitting in the bottom row. I have my notebook, and I'm keeping track of the debates, making sure everybody's where they belong, and doing my job. Well, that went out on social media, another hit, and I got some emails about that, so I explained the situation to them. And I did wear the shield. I have the shield because I could wear this. I could still breathe, but it does the job.
Right.
So I wore this to and from
the
arena, and then I sat where I sat before.
Right.
But above me was the Freedom section. So I don't know. They'll make a mountain out of molehills, and that I guess you're up against that on 10 times that scale.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing when you think about it that of all things, mask have become politicized. Think about that. It's horribly sad, and it's really an example of, I think, the left, the Democrats, taking something as simple as wearing a mask and making it into a huge political issue, for which they criticize people. You know, and I've said all along is, be good neighbors, wear a mask, go to the store, wear a mask, do it to be a good neighbor. We don't need mandatory mask requirements. I mean, Americans are conscientious. If you can't wear a mask for medical reasons like you, then don't wear a mask. But let's not be criticizing people for not wearing a mask. And I don't, when I'm outside, I don't wear a mask. When, I practice social distancing. But it
we're
feels.
all washing our hands now too.
Yeah,
we should have been washing our hands all along. And
right,
covering your mouth when
right.
you cough or sneeze, because if you don't, you spread disease.
Right.
Sanitizing surfaces. These are all things that we should continue.
Yeah.
Long after all this
Yeah.
is over.
Yeah, exactly. But it's common sense, in my opinion. And I think it's courtesy for other people, But this mandatory requirement effort, I disagree with entirely. And then we've seen the Democrats who really push masks, the hypocrisy of them.
They wear them outside too,
by
themselves in the car.
But we saw the situation with Pelosi when she wasn't wearing a mask, and now Dianne Feinstein was, so it's
she's not so fine.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. So it's but anyway, enough on mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were going to talk about the taxes. Joe Biden said last night that he would repeal.
That's right.
All the Trump taxes. What does that mean for the country?
Well, it's a repeal of the Trump tax cuts. Would be devastating to this economy right now. An increase of taxes would be devastating to this economy. And Jeanne Shaheen wants to do it. She's every opportunity she's had as a U.S. Senator, she has voted to increase taxes. She voted against the tax decreases under Trump. And Biden is very clear about it. He wants to increase taxes by $4 trillion. And that means there will be a tax increase on the middle class, and even, don't let them mislead you. There will be a tax on the middle class. In fact, the middle class tax cuts that Trump put in place, they expire, I think, in 2022. So there's going to have to be action to make sure they stay in place. So there are. If the Democrats win this election, there will be tax increases. The result of that will be a dampening of the economy and a dampening of coming out of the economic situation we're in because of COVID-19.
Mm-hmm. As you're talking to the voters, have you noticed that there's some who don't really get that there's a difference between the federal government, the state government, and town government?
Yeah,
I think it's all the same.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's the kind of thing I enjoy talking to them to help them understand, how this system of government is working and the differences and who does what and how I can help them.
Now, most of the people that I talk to are pretty friendly and open and willing to chat, and I make sure that I stay a distance. And making sure that they feel comfortable. So I'll put a mask on, or the shield, one or the other, and then stand back. And if they're comfortable enough and I'm far enough away, I can take it off. Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Right. I've been door knocking, and what I do, I have a mask on. I knock on the door. I step back, and they come to the door, and you can kind of tell. I even sometimes say, "You want me to keep my mask on?" But always social distancing.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, and one lady here in Merrimack, she opened the door and said, "Oh, thanks for stopping by." She thought that was so cool. Another man that's not too far from Town Hall, he just thought that was that was awesome to see. The candidates, the local candidates, going through his neighborhood.
Yeah. But it's the other thing on the whole tax situation is our economy is coming back strong. Jobs are coming back. We've helped small businesses. Small businesses are coming back. The businesses and the owners are I've been all over the place talking to folks. The creativity they know in order for their business to be successful, their customers have to feel safe in the COVID-19 world, and they're being so creative to do that. And so there's this uplift in jobs and businesses, and we're seeing it. And if you increase taxes, it'll just put a stop to that.
We need another manufacturer of paper towels in this country because they seem to be short in supply, and they've gone up in price. I can't believe it. And I have a puppy. I need paper towels.
Right.
I've never had a puppy before.
Oh, good for you.
I've got great big giant grand dogs, but never a little puppy. And oh my gosh! Well, she's a huge puppy. Actually, her paws are. She's going to be a big dog.
Oh wow, that's fun. I have 2 dogs.
Do you? What are their names?
Wade and Jet.
Oh, I love that. I love their names.
Great dogs. They're great dogs.
I had on my notes we were going to talk about Amy Coney Barrett.
Yes.
So,
Amy Coney Barrett is a brilliant legal mind. Absolutely brilliant. Very accomplished. She is an excellent choice to be on the United States Supreme Court. In addition, a role model for women that she'll be the first woman on the Supreme Court who has school-age children. 7 children, 2 of whom are adopted.
I only have 6.
And just a great role model for women, and it good family. So you can have a family, you can have children, you can have a career. We can do all those things, and it's a good example for our young people and young women, and she will be confirmed. She will be confirmed. Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, and all the politics that are flying around about it now. Just elections have consequences. The president was elected in 2016. In 2018, the Republicans increased their majority in the U.S. Senate, so they're in control. They have, and of course, you would expect them to proceed with this. And all we're hearing from the Democrats, all the politics, all the flip-flopping from 2016, it's politicking, and the Democrats would be doing the exact same thing if they were in a situation that the Republicans are in right now.
Oh, no, without a doubt.
Yes.
So have you met Amy Coney?
I've never met her, no.
Yeah, no. Another role model for women is Nikki Haley.
Yes,
and she's going to be in New Hampshire today.
Today.
By the time this airs, she will have been here.
Oh, got it. Yeah, she'll be here
Friday.
today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
In fact, she's doing an event for me tomorrow, and when this airs, maybe it was yesterday. I don't know when
this will air Friday.
Oh,
and it'll play 16 times for the week, and then next week I'll have Gary Daniels on, who's running for state senate. So you know Gary.
Yeah, I do know Gary.
We all know each other. So yes, you had mentioned Governor Sununu earlier, and I was thinking, we're the team that can work with Governor Sununu.
Right.
So, and I hope that resonates with the voters. That if you like Governor Sununu, well, he was the one who saved us from having the guns confiscated, the income tax, and a host of other bad bills that, thank God, he vetoed. And it takes 2/3 to override a veto.
Yes.
So on veto day, it was kind of ironic because one of the gun bills, the red flag bill, I gave the parliamentary inquiry to support the governor's veto, and it was a Merrimack Democrat who gave the parliamentary inquiry against it. She wanted to override it.
Well, what's happened since 2018, the election, is the Democrats have demonstrated that they are progressive. That, that's why Governor Sununu in the last 2 years, what's the number? 79 vetoes in 2 years. The Democrats want to increase taxes, want to bring in gun control, want to over-regulate, and that's who Jeanne Shaheen is too. Mm-hmm. Jeanne Shaheen wants to increase taxes, have government more involved in our lives, and you're right. We have to stick together with Governor Sununu and the executive council candidates in the state senate and the state house. We must win those races, and we must preserve the live free or die culture in New Hampshire, and elect me to the U.S. Senate so I can fight for you in Washington, D.C. And not, Jeanne Shaheen, she goes to Washington, D.C., and she's loyal to Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, AOC, and she, that's where her loyalty is. And her commercials that you see on TV are mostly misleading.
I don't watch enough TV
Yeah,
to see
they're
any
misleading.
commercials.
Oh, they're so misleading. And here's the interesting thing. You mentioned Amy Coney Barrett, and the Senate is the body that advises and consents. The House of Representatives is not. They're not involved in it at all.
Good.
Yeah, not at all. Interestingly, when Chuck Schumer, after the pick, Sunday, he had a press conference. Next to him at that press conference was AOC. And it was about Amy Coney Barrett. Well, the House doesn't have a role in it. And why he had AOC?
Why are they sticking their nose in it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the left's signal to the radical left, to the extreme left, that they need to mobilize against Amy Coney Barrett. Mm-hmm. And it's a signal to Jeanne Shaheen that the radical left wants you to vote no. Jeanne Shaheen's not even going to meet with Amy Coney Barrett. Think about that. Mm. Yeah, not even going to meet with her.
What's sad is that there's still a lot of JFK Democrats, and some of them still don't realize that if JFK were alive today, he would be a Republican. And I've talked about this for years. Because if you look at the political spectrum, so here, we'll look at this line here, and this is the middle. Mm-hmm. You got the right of center, left of center.
Right.
And JFK, those Democrats were just a little bit left of center.
That's
now
right.
The Democrat Party has gone far left. And if you look at their planks, it spells socialism, and socialism is one step away from communism, and that terrifies me.
Terrifying. Well, socialized medicine. I mean, Jeanne Shaheen co-sponsored with Bernie Sanders in 2016 his socialized medicine bill. Now, they call it Medicare for all. That dignifies it too much. It's socialized medicine.
So it doesn't work.
Yeah,
socialized medicine doesn't work.
And you know what that would mean for Granite Staters? About 750,000 Granite Staters would lose their private health insurance if there was socialized medicine.
Right.
So it's because what we want in healthcare is we want quality, we want accessibility, we want affordability, and we want options.
Right, options. Because then the free market does its job, and
yes, that's
then
right.
they compete to get your business.
That's right. And if you think about in socialized medicine, socialized healthcare, none of those four things are there. You don't have quality, you don't have accessibility, you don't have affordability. The government cost of that's through the roof, and there's no options.
Right. I've talked to people from other countries and they who have socialized medicine, and they come here. They come to America to get the treatment because it's better here.
And there's another part of it. I ran into last summer a recently retired orthopedic surgeon from Sweden. And I thought, this is great. Let's have a discussion. And so we were discussing the Swedish socialized medicine. And two things really stuck out to me. One, I asked him, I said, well, is there private health insurance in Sweden? He said, oh, yeah. And I said, well, what does it do? It says, oh, you buy private health insurance to get to the front of the line. Think about that.
Oof.
Yeah, think about that.
Wow.
And then the other thing that stuck out to me is I said, well, okay, how are claims of medical malpractice resolved? And there's no lawsuits. It's not an adversarial system. So if someone claims to have been injured because of medical malpractice, they go to a board, and it's not lawyers fighting. So one of the things I say is we need tort reform to get the cost of healthcare down, because there's so many frivolous lawsuits against doctors and hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow. Well, we have about 90 seconds left,
Oh, you're
Corky,
kidding
so
me.
I'm going to give the last 90 seconds to you.
I'm sorry if I talk too much.
No, you didn't. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Speak to them.
Thank you, Janine. She's awesome. Let's make sure she gets reelected.
With my team. I need
With
my
her
whole team.
Her whole team. Go, Janine. I'm Corky Messner. I've been here now 3 times. I'm a West Point graduate. I'm entirely self-made. I grew up in a blue-collar family, went to West Point, served. I'm a veteran. I have 2 sons that are West Pointers. Started my own business, grew it into a national business, and I am fighting for individual liberty and economic freedom, so everybody has the opportunity that I had to pursue your dreams. And I will fight for everyone in the Granite State to make sure you have the opportunity to live the American dream. Jean Shaheen is for high taxes, big government, socialism, and taking away our liberty and our freedoms. I am for the Second Amendment. She is for taking away your guns. Please vote for me on November 3rd. I will defeat Jean Shaheen. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
All
and
right.
After this, we're going to go see Nikki Haley.
Yeah, good to go. Good to go.
Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week with Gary Daniels for State Senate.